there, this is Lee McQueen, and I'm signing in again just today to talk about student loan debt. The reason why I'm talking about that is I'd also talked about the Green New Deal and Jill Stein previously. And Jill Stein is, of course, in favor of the Green New Deal. That includes stimulating the economy with quantitative easing for student loan debt, and then also investing in our infrastructure, and then investing in alternative energy initiatives, which I think is great. Part of her impetus for the economy is to forgive student loans, to bail out the students who are suffering from overwhelming student loan debt, and then also do something similar to the way that Barack Obama bailed out the banks. And so she's saying that a quantitative easing would be able to do that, and that someone in her position, if she were to be elected president, she could do that by electing the appropriate person to the chair of the Federal Reserve. And so this is an interesting concept because student loan debt is overwhelming and it's crushing the future of this nation. I've spoken before about previous generations who were able to accumulate wealth because of Franklin Delano Roosevelt's New Deal back in the 30s, and then how that wealth was passed down from that greatest generation down to the baby boomers. And so it was transferred, it was paid forward to the next generation. And unfortunately, it's the baby boomers who decided to do something different. Rather than pay it forward, they paid it back to themselves. Bill Clinton, a baby boomer himself, decided to privatize the student loan industry, where once before it was federal government who was in charge of that. Sally Mae came to existence during his administration and began to administer student loans. And it became a very lucrative industry, student loan debt. There currently are 42 million people who owe $1.3 trillion in student loan debt, and it's a profit center for Wall Street and for the government. And there's an article at Common Dreams that just outlines step by step how we, students of our generation, ever got here. But in a nutshell, it's a case of our previous generation looking out for themselves and their own profits and their own pockets rather than the generations to come. And so we've got Generation X being crushed down by student loan debt, Generation Y, and the millennials who just don't see any way to get educated in order to find a job. And, you know, it's a series of unfortunate events. You know, of course, we had the privatization of student loan lending, and then we had the rise in college costs, and then the sending away of blue collar jobs, manufacturing jobs overseas, and then also outsourcing of white collar jobs. So, you know, what's our generation to do? It's difficult. Things are so different than from they used to be. I mean, it may be hard to understand how we ever got here. But most worrisome of all is the fact that student loan debt is the only debt that you cannot discharge by declaring bankruptcy. Every other kind of debt, especially corporate debt, because we have corporations going belly up and declaring bankruptcy and just walking away all the time. But you cannot do that with student loan debt, the bankruptcy law, the one that Hillary Clinton voted for. So between NAFTA, the privatization of student loan debt, and then the bankruptcy law, we're in a difficult spot here. But Jill Stein has a workable solution that seems pretty appropriate to the occasion. That the younger generation is just frozen, unable to move forward. I've used that Michael Jackson analogy so many times. Um, you can't win, you can't break even, and you can't get out of the game. And it's too high to get over, too low to get under. You're stuck in the middle, and the pain is thunder. And so a lot of people are stuck. They can't make progress in their lives. They can't move forward because they're bound by a heavy load of debt. And so I'm going to post a link to this article from Common Dreams in the description, and you can see for yourself how this came to be. And then I'll also find a link for Jill Stein's position on student loan debt and how it can be discharged. And then also how we can lower college costs overall, and of course, bring jobs back with a Green New Deal. So there's an opportunity to help all of us help all of us. Once we lift up our younger generation, they can lift up the generation to come. They can help the older generation. It can be done, and Jill Stein has a plan, and I'll just post that link in the description, and so everybody can see what they think of it.